My name is Ben Rabbi Friedman, Assistant Controller General of Corrections, in charge of Zone A. Zone A covers Lagos State and Ogun State. I was the Controller of Corrections, in fact, the immediate past Controller of Corrections in charge of Lagos State. Mr. Chairman, I have a 20 years cognate experience, Controller of Correction in 3 commands, and I've headed 8 custodial centers and facilities across the country. On the 12th of April, 2024, at about 15:30 hours, I got a call from the Deputy Controller of Correction in charge of Ikoyi Medium Security Custodial Center that Idris Okuneye Olariwaju, popularly known as Bobrisky, have been sentenced at Federal High Court, Ikoyi, and that they were on their way to Ikoyi Custodial Center with a large crowd. The crowd of fans at the court premises followed them to Ikoyi Custodial Center. And it was such that the facility, Ikoyi, in the center of the town, sandwiched by urbanization, the traffic jam, the gridlock within that Ikoyi axis, got up to Falomo, and inmates that were returning from court could not have access to our facility. On the strength of that, pursuant to Rule 163, Sub F of the Nigerian Correctional Service Standing Order, I authorized in writing a letter backed by a warrant. The Chairman, I'd like to report that movement of an inmate from one facility to the other must carry a warrant, a valid warrant. That warrant is called from 5 and 5A. Transferring him to Medium Security Custodial Center, Kirikiri, that same 12, for operational and security reasons, because Ikoyi is very congested and there were a lot of concern for the security implications. I'd like to confirm to this honorable committee that on the 12th he was moved to Kirikiri Medium. That same 12th, he spent about 3-4 hours in Ikoyi. He got to Kirikiri and he was admitted. He stayed in Kirikiri Medium for barely 10 days. And I had to move him. I had caused to move him out of Kirikiri Medium to Kirikiri Maximum, exercising my powers as provided in our rules. Because the Controller General of Correction transmitted a call to me that there was a trending video on social media that Bobrisky donated some plastic chairs to our facility. And he asked me to find out, address the matter, and report back to him. On the strength of that directive, very firm directive, I rushed down to Kirikiri Medium. And I confirmed that 21 plastic chairs were donated to the facility. On further inquiry, it was confirmed that those chairs were donated by relations of Bobrisky. Granted, the officer in charge, who is a deputy controller, got permission for me to travel to write an exam at Ijebu that morning. So I entered the yard and I did 2 things. Firstly, I ordered that those chairs be removed from the visiting hall outside the premises where visitors are processed, and they should be taken out of circulation. Secondly, I had to go to the cell to see Bobrisky, and I told him that we will not accept any donation from his family or friends or himself to our facility henceforth, because it may create a very faulty impression about the reputation and integrity of the correctional service. Secondly, I effected his transfer. I ordered his immediate transfer from medium to maximum.
How was he transferred? Did you carry him in your private vehicle to the maximum, or did you not?
I followed them I followed them to maximum. The vehicle we use in transferring, because of the urgency.
Where was he? Was he in your vehicle or was he in the official vehicle of your district?
He was in my official vehicle, the operational Hilux, because courts were in session and the other operational vehicles, because of the seriousness of the matter, I had to, the courts the inmates have gone to court with other vehicles.
Is it official vehicle or your private vehicle?
Official operational vehicle. I have a flag car, the staff car with the flag, but I went to that facility since it was operational with an operational Hilux, official operational Hilux. I ordered the staff officer in Kirikiri medium. Normally, if you are transferring an inmate with a letter and the transfer warrant, there must be an escort. All the proper documentation were done for him to be transferred, the gate, the record office, and everything that has to do with his transfer, is available.
He has been tendered. Have you submitted those things?
It's been tendered. It's been tendered.
Okay.
It's been tendered. So on the 22nd, we moved under my supervision because the Control General was monitoring the development. We had to move into maximum. He stayed in maximum from 22nd of April to the 5th of August when he was discharged from lawful custody upon expiration of his prison term. And with profound respect, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to clarify the issue of keeping Bobrisky in a single cell. Bobrisky stayed in P ward. P ward has a capacity of 240. 240. He stayed in room 2. There are many single cells in that place. And it's a standard practice in the correctional service to classify it. We saw in Bobrisky a special case, especially in the sense that he's a transgender, and allow him to stay in the general cell with other inmates could create a bigger problem. Firstly, he could be bullied, he could be violated, and it would be a major problem for us. And it's important to tell this committee that Bobrisky was not the only person staying in single cell. There are many inmates staying in single cell. We have a very important case we manage again. The same week Bobrisky came to Kirikiri Medium, we admitted, I have the warrant here, we admitted another inmate from a certain part of the country, a trailer driver, and he is a hermaphrodite. Our men in Kirikiri Medium were very dutiful and professional, and they were able to search, and they detected that he's a hermaphrodite. He had the male organ and he had the female organ. That inmate stayed in Kirikiri Medium from April to September. He just discharged from our facility. A trailer driver, and the charge is for stealing. He appeared before a magistrate court and they remanded him. And the deputy controller in charge did a professional job alongside his team, and they kept that inmate in a single cell. We kept the inmate in a single cell, because if we don't do that, there is classification of inmates in every facility. And the inmate is, the same inmate could not, an indigent inmate, he could not get a lawyer. The deputy controller in charge, Medium Security Custodial Center, would firm approval form, got a legal representative to help that indigent inmate and approach the magistrate. He personally went to court to see the magistrate until the inmate was discharged from the facility. This is the letter he wrote and the warrant of that inmate, who is the hermaphrodite. The chairman, we never took Bobrisky out of our facility. We never took Bobrisky out of our facility from the 12th of April to the 5th of August. In fact, even when there was a need for medical attention, because I got very firm instruction from the Control General that we should do our work professionally because of the reputation of the service. At a point, there was a need for reference. By our regulations, only the controller can give approval for an inmate to be taken, giving referral to another hospital. But I never gave any approval for Bobrisky even to get medical assistance outside. We have a clinic in Maximum, a doctor's there and a medical team managed him until he left. He never left the facility. I say on oath. He served in a facility.
Were you suspended too?
I'm not suspended. I'm not under suspension, Mr. Chairman.
Not even with the press release?
No, I'm not under.
It didn't affect you?
No, it didn't affect me. I supervise it.
Okay, members, we have had him. Do you still have other things to say, or can you round up so that you can take one or two questions?
Yeah, I have a concern, Mr. Chairman, because I just got information today from one of my officers in charge of the facility that there's a trending story, because it's important we begin to address this thing, going forward. There's a trending story of a high-profile inmate that was moved from a particular state in this country to our facility, and that there's another trending story that inmate was taken from our facility in a particular state to an apartment close to the prison. And as the story is gaining traction, it may come to you very soon and to this honorable committee. So we do our work professionally because the service have zero tolerance for all forms of unprofessional conduct, unethical conduct, and no staff will. To manage an inmate in custody, so many hands are involved. An officer in charge of a facility cannot take an inmate out of the cell, out of the yard.
This one you are talking about now is not why we are here. So let us deal with this one that has brought us here.
Thank you,
and conclude it. So can we take just three direct questions to him? Let me start from Gio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sir, you mentioned that
the urgency is that my principal, the Controller General of Correction, was on me monitoring that development. And I consulted with him. He gave me approval to transfer him. It may test you. Kirikiri medium and maximum is within the same range. It's barely 200 meters from Kirikiri medium to maximum. So the officer in charge was not on ground. He traveled with my express permission. And I was the command controller then. And once now I'm an ECD.
Sir, the urgency. The other officer says for security reasons. You came, you said the urgency. Can you explain to this honorable committee? Define this urgency for us.
The urgency, with respect, Mr. Chair, the urgency is that there's a trending story on social media that have attracted the attention of the Controller General. And he has asked me to address that matter. So I had to effect the transfer, and the staff from
the trending, okay. So the trending story was about the chairs.
The trending story was about the chairs
that were donated.
That were donated by his relations or friends who came the previous day, and the chairs in the visitors' room were not enough.
Okay. So now, whenever an officer on duty has to go for another course, is there nobody that usually takes over from him? Like an assistant?
No, there is. There's no vacuum. He is
so in this case, why did it have to be you to come in and move Bobrisky with your official operational vehicle?
It has to be me because I got directives from my Controller General. And
in your own assessment, sir, you are an officer.
Yes.
Was there a particular threat at that moment that would have led to the breakdown of law and order? Or people coming in to break into your facility? Because you have still not defined the urgency for us. We want to know because your vehicles moved other inmates to court. You had to rush down there. On your way to that facility, did you meet some group of people trying to vandalize your facility? Because we are trying to understand these urgencies. No, just go ahead, sir. You want to tell us?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
The provision of a standing order allows the controller, rule 163F, allows the controller to move any inmate for security and administrative reasons. In this circumstance, the Controller General called me. I got the information about those chairs.
Okay, let's move to another question. So when you came, those chairs that were donated, were they moved out of the facility immediately, or those chairs were still there?
They were moved immediately. First, I told you I took two actions, two equally important actions. Firstly, I went in company of my PRO and some deputy controllers. I ordered that those chairs be removed from the visiting hall because it was becoming an embarrassment to the service.
Were they donated to the orphans, or you have kept them somewhere to be used on a separate day?
No, I didn't donate them to. I didn't donate them to the orphan. I asked them to remove. I gave the instruction and they complied. To the best of my knowledge, those chairs were moved out of the facility. They were moved out of that place, and the deputy controller can confirm that.
Where are the chairs? Where are the chairs now? Where are the chairs?
I can't. Mr. Chair, I gave, as a command controller then,
Yes.
I gave directives, and
When you gave instruction for those chairs to be moved, to who?
they moved out those chairs because when I entered, they moved the chairs out of the facility.
To where?
Well, those chairs were an embarrassment to us. And
Yeah,
we
to
don't-
where? Did you have them to just throw them under
I
the
asked them
bridge?
to move those chairs. I didn't confiscate or to collect
So
the
you have
chairs
not
back.
found out if they are still in your facility?
I asked them to take those chairs out of the facility. The building.
So will you be surprised if I show you pictures now that those chairs are still in your facilities?
I'll be surprised.
You'll be surprised.
I'll be surprised.
So check, we will leave that. Chairman Ayeba.
Constituency, I'm from Abia State. Controller, I just have one question. Assistant Controller,
Yes, sir.
you said that Bobrisky is a homophrodite.
No.
You said it.
No, it's a transgender.
That transgender of another person.
Mr. Chair, as Bobrisky is a transgender, the next, we had another inmate we admitted, that the second inmate is the hermaphrodite, and I have his warrant with me.
Okay, thank you.
David Agada, member representing Ojuobi Federal Constituency. I'm from Benue State. Assistant Controller General, first I really want to appreciate the light you've thrown to the whole scenario, but I want to also put something straight here. We have a constitution that backed us as a nation. The 1999 Constitution as amended. Some of these, your findings, whether transgender or whatever other case, is not recognized by our Constitution. These are your special discovery in the area of your field that you are managing professionally. I want this to be laid to rest before it will be, attached to all of us seated here today. That is, by the way, we've come on oversight to those correctional facilities. And personally, I can attest to it. Even while we are speaking here, some will be thinking maybe the medium, Kirikiri prison, and the maximum is something that have this time. It's just a stone throw. We walked there. We walked from the medium down to the maximum, to the women, female, from female, we went to the maximum. It's just something workable. It's not something very far away. And we saw some of these cells by ourselves. The only thing I was keen about, that I was listening carefully for me to hear, is if this Mr. Okune was actually taken off the facilities totally. But you have cleared it. So I needed to say this so some of our colleagues could understand that we were there. And I saw it for myself. If I see something different, I will say it. We saw some high-profile people, high-profile convicted inmates there. We requested for them. We saw them. These were some of the emails they told us that they are not in custody. But we saw them. I won't mention their name for obvious reasons. And then some of these things that are being said are also of high security intel. It's because we are following the directive of Mr. Chairman. Some of these things will have been better in an executive section so that we can hit them one after the other. But be as it may, there are some other issues really to be looked into. You see, we have one of the officers that came on board. A question was thrown to him. Are you suspended or you are not suspended? The question was not well answered. These are some things that you yourself, as someone who is heading that region, should clarify as well. So we want to know, was there disciplinary measures put in place as a result of this trending issue we are investigating now? Is something that can come from a preview before even the Controller General could now make an attestment to it. So we need you to clarify that, what you are doing regarding this video. The other aspect, I will hold on until the EFCC people comes on board. But so far so good, you have clarified some of the issues. But on that aspect, we need you to clear it as one of
the suspension of the two deputy controllers. I can confirm that there's a press release from our board suspending 4 officers, including the 2 that are heading Kirikiri Medium and Maximum. But as I speak now, they are yet to be served with a formal official letter about the suspension. That's why they are still in full uniform. Because of the allegations of corruption in respect of Bobrisky. It's around. I'm superior to him. This is a deputy controller.
Can you conclude?
Yes, I, with profound respect, Mr. Chairman and co-chairman, I'd like to reiterate the fact that we did our job to the best of our ability. And Bobrisky had been in our custody from the 12th of April to the 5th of August when he was properly discharged. In both medium and maximum facility Kirikiri, we have impeccable records of all the management, including visitors, warrant, the biometrics of Bobrisky is in maximum, is in medium, and is in Ikoyi. Those documents are before the committee. We brought backs of them much earlier, and I thought they've shared it to members of the committee.
Are you telling us on oath now that you did not collect any money to effect that transfer, that urgent transfer you did with your official car?
Mr. Chairman, for logistic challenge, I'd like to inform this honorable committee, I've had cause severally to use my official operational car for court duties. At times, I detailed the vehicle from Ikoyi when I was controller, from Alagbon Close to go to Ikoyi to assist them because of the challenge of acute shortage of vehicles. So it was not out of place for me to, and given the fact that it was next door, to move to the place. Because if I didn't do that, the Controller General would have sanctioned me because he asked me to address this matter. Let's stop saying this story that was trending.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's have the man in charge of